Welcome back to KHAIR'S Garage. If you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe, man, you see what we got going on today. We're putting in a new SRT steering wheel with the SRT airbag. Take this old one out. It's cool, but I just don't like it. And this one's a lot thicker and wider. Pause. So we're going to go ahead and put this one up in there. We are going to change out the start button as well. I don't know if it'll be in this video, but if I feel like it, we'll go ahead and do it. All right, so the tools that you'll need for this project are pretty simple. I grab a breaker bar, a 13 or 15 mil Allen wrench, and then you'll need something to gain leverage with. So for me, I just kind of use this little socket and put the breaker bar through the back end of it to turn to loosen up the bolt that'll be in the center of the steering wheel. It'll look like this. The Allen that's going to be long enough, pause, to go ahead and put through the side of the steering wheel so that you can disconnect those two springs that'll be in there. And you'll need something like this, pretty much like a pry tool that you can get up under the two little clips that connect to the airbag. And the first order of the process is to go ahead and disconnect the battery, and then you'll want to press this the start button a couple of times once the battery is disconnected, just so you can drain out all the power that still might be throughout the car. So just hold down that power button for about 30 seconds after the battery is disconnected. And then from there, we'll start the process with removing the airbag. So let's do it. All right, so now that the battery is disconnected, you don't have to take both sides off. Just take off either the positive or negative. As long as it doesn't have a complete circuit, it won't do anything. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hop inside. And then from here, you're just gonna hold this button down for about 30 to 60 seconds. I'm not gonna record the whole thing just because it's pretty time consuming and boring. So I'm gonna get back with y'all after this is done. All right, so now that we know the power is drained from the car, we're gonna go ahead and use that Allen wrench or something similar to reach down through the holes on each side of the steering wheel to release the airbag. All right, guys, so now that we have the airbag loose, you're gonna gently pull it away. And then you'll see that there are these connectors right here, right? So what you're gonna do is disconnect that top, disconnect the bottom, and then you're gonna go ahead and remove everything that's connected to this airbag right here. And those two clips there, I'll show you how to get those in a second. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the top end first. And this will be pretty much where the clip tool comes in handy at. So all you'll do is just get down between the actual connector and the airbag and just pry up on it like that. And do the same with the red one. And then they'll both come off of there. So now that those are gone, you're gonna go ahead and move on to the black one there. And it's pretty much just, you might be able to just squeeze it by hand. You just have to find the clip on it. And I don't know if I can do that with the camera in my hand, so I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys down and get to that. All right, so now that we have those disconnected, the last step is to go ahead and hit these two tabs for the airbag deployment. All you're gonna do is take your pry tool and go down between these orange pieces here and pull up gently, because you don't wanna ruin them, because if you ruin those, you'll either have to get new ones soldered in, or you'll have to replace your clock springs. So be very gentle with this. And I'll show you guys how that's done right here, if I can with one hand. See if I can get this to stay. All right, I think that might stay in place just enough for me to demonstrate. So what you want to do is get the end of the pry tool right up in here, and you want to pull up on it. So excuse the camera quality for this, but I just got to get a good enough angle so you can see how it's done. And then for the second one, I'll go ahead and put you guys down. All right, so the connector is going to be lifted just like that, and then you can just remove it by hand by wiggling it side to side. I'm just being pretty gentle with it. You don't want to break these. So just like that. And then you'll just repeat that same process with the other one. All right, so with your old airbag off, The next step would be to disconnect these wires here. So there's going to be a couple of places you'll have to do that. So the first one is going to be right here on the left side. All you do is get up on that tab right there if you can with your hand like this. Squeeze it in and pull it out so that that's disconnected. And then the last one is going to be on this side over here. So actually, to release this tab, I find it's a little easier to go ahead and remove the bolt first so that you can pull up and gain access to the side of it. So let's go ahead and put our Allen key in there. All right, y'all, so the process I use to get this done, put the long end that way. I use this little socket, and then I'll put my breaker bar down through this way and kind of just use this for leverage and whatnot. So we won't have to brace the steering wheel. Just go ahead and turn the steering wheel all the way to the left, just so there won't be any wiggle room for it to move around when you're trying to gain some leverage. All right, so now we got the bolt loose. I'm going to go ahead and remove that bolt. All right, so now that that bolt is out, we're going to go ahead and pull the steering wheel forward just slightly so that we can release that side tab I told you guys about earlier. And let me see. I think the easiest way to do that might be to just go ahead and use a really skinny Allen key, or if you have a clip tool, go ahead and use that. But just in case you guys don't have the clip tool, I'll show you how to use this. So just wiggle gently forward, so that the steering wheel is barely off of it, and at that point you're going to go ahead and push that side tab in just like this, and then it'll release. And at this point, you just want to be very gentle to let the wires through the steering wheel that connect to the airbag. So that's one, and that's two. So now that the old steering wheel is off, what you'll want to do is go ahead and remove this little greenish blue or teal, whatever you want to call it, little weight that goes in here that helps you for leverage for turning, because you'll be reusing this. All right, so next is to go ahead and grab your new steering wheel. We're going to push these wires through, and we're pretty much just going to do the inverse of what we just did. All right, so now that your steering wheel is in place, all you're going to do is go ahead and reconnect everything that you took out. So starting with that white piece, just everything in the exact order that you took it out. So we're going to put the white piece back to the clear. And then we're going to come across to the left side, and then we're going to go ahead and plug in the other wire that's on the opposite side of it. All right, so now that we got the steering wheel connectors all plugged in, you're going to put your blue plate back in there, line it up in place, and then you're going to secure it down with your bolt. And it's very important that when you put this bolt in, you do not force it. Make sure it's going in evenly and not cross-threaded. Once your bolt is tightened down hand tight, you want to make sure your steering wheel, that sounded kind of weird, steering wheel, I don't know what the hell I just said, but you want to turn your wheel all the way to the right, just so that you don't have too much play in it when you're trying to secure this bolt. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to use a torque wrench or anything like that, but just tighten it down as hard as you can by hand, and you'll be good. So all right, so that should be secure enough. So with that being done, the next step is to go ahead and plug up our airbag. So just the reverse process of what we just did. Same thing, very simple. But this one is going to be a little different just because the connector is a little different. But it's pretty much that one black tab right here that's out. It's just going to plug into this black tab up top. And then the same thing with these two little wires. They're color coordinated. Just put the blue with the blue, yellow with the yellow. Once that's all in, before you push the airbag in, we're going to plug up the car and just check all the functions and make sure everything's working as it's supposed to. So let's go ahead and plug up the airbag and then we'll get to that step. So the harder one to get to would be the blue. So we'll actually do those first. So the blue and the yellow. Start up top with the yellow just because it's in kind of a tight spot. So with me, I just like to do all the difficult parts first, just so it's easier later on, but do it however you wish. So with these, make sure they're all the way seated into the airbag. And then once they're all the way seated, you're gonna push down on that orange tab, and that'll lock the tab into place. All right, so now that that's done, we're gonna move on to the blue one. Plug that in. And now for the final step is that black wire that's hanging out here. Very simple, just push it into place until you hear that click. And there it is, guys. So we're all the way plugged up. Like I said, do not push the airbag all the way down, just to check the functionality, because if you do push it down and it doesn't work, you're gonna have to go back through that process of pushing those pins on the side, which is, as you guys seen, not the easiest thing to do. And it can be kind of time consuming. So let's go ahead and check out the battery, plug that up. And yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. I was gonna do the red start button in this video, but I'll just save that for a separate video just in case the guy or woman who's doing this isn't gonna do these together. It'll just make more sense to separate it so you can find it easier in the title. Yeah, so enough of that. Let's plug up the battery and check out the airbag. All right, so now that all that's done up front, let's go ahead and hit this battery up. And there we go. We ain't hearing no kaboom from the inside of the car, so the airbag ain't go off, which is good. Gonna just kind of leave that loose a little bit just in case we gotta go back. But if everything checks out up front, we'll come back and tighten that up. So here we go, we're in the car. Go ahead and hit that button, get the car primed up. Everything running, accessories on. And then from here, let's go ahead and see if the buttons are functional, and they are. As you can see, we can navigate the pages. Everything should work. You could try to honk the horn. I don't know if it'll honk just because it's not in place. But since everything seems to be working out, we can just go ahead and push the airbag in place. So you'll just push on each side evenly and the horn might go off, beep, beep, whatever, as long as you know it works. So now we disconnected the battery so we ain't gotta deal with all that honking and stuff. We're just gonna make sure the airbags get seated in. And there we go. Just have to push hard from either side. Make sure it's in there, give it a few tugs. Push on it. Now we're secure, man. So yeah, that's how you put that airbag in there, bro, with the steering wheel looking good. I'm gonna bring y'all back over here in a second to check out the finished product. All right, y'all, so we plugged back up, we got the power again. So let's hop in and check everything out again. Y'all see that thing on the floor? Yes, sir. All right, you see that power on there? That red button. We're gonna switch this thing out so it can make sense, man, match everything up. Alright, so there we go, everything's running. See, we can navigate all our pages properly. I don't know why that's not zooming in, but yeah. So we good on this, man. Y'all see that steering wheel swap going crazy. So if y'all in the Atlanta area, y'all want me to do this for y'all, let me know. or if you just want to watch the video and try it out yourself, do that. That's the main point of this. But if you don't feel comfortable, man, let me know and I'll help you out for real. Also, if y'all have a Scatpack or whatever you might have, even if it's just a RT and you want to swap out to this flat bottom steering wheel, I'll make it a giveaway. Let's do that. So if you guys want this steering wheel, you just got to comment and flood all my videos with likes and comments. Whoever got the most likes and comments on my videos, that's who's gonna get it, man. So if you want it, go ahead and do that for me. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll go ahead and do that next video with the red button. It'll probably drop in a day or two, if not the same day. So be on the lookout for it if you want to do that as well. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.